We're going to get started in just a minute here, so hang tight. All right, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Marcus Cederstrom. I work in the Department of German, Nordic, and Slavic. Just want to welcome you all to Anishinaabe Music More Than Pow-wow with Lyz Jaakola. Super excited to have Lyz here. Super excited that you're all here. I want to note this is co-sponsored by the Department of German, Nordic, and Slavic and the Center for the Study of Upper Midwestern Cultures. It's actually also a part of the 150th anniversary celebration for Scandinavian studies here on campus. We've got a host of upcoming events that we're going to be doing. Sasumsi, we're heading up to the American Swedish Institute this weekend for the Midwinter Folk Festival. But closer to home, here in Madison, the Scandinavian Studies unit, Nordic unit, will be hosting several events in the coming year for the anniversary. We've got one coming up here already on Tuesday, March 4th. That's a talk with the former ambassador to Norway. That should be a wonderful one. And then an online lecture with our very own Professor Kirsten Wolf titled Facts and Fictions About the Vikings. That's Saturday, March 8th. All of this stuff is online. I'm not going to give you a bunch of times and everything to write down. Just go to gns.wisc.edu. You'll find a little tab there that says 150th anniversary. Check that out and come. We want to welcome you all and kind of celebrate what's going on here on campus. But today, right now, we're here for an Informance by Lyz Jaakola, who's joined by several of her family members. Lyz, Nitaa-Nagamokwe, the lady who knows how to sing, is a tribally enrolled Fond du Lac Ojibwe with Finnish-American heritage. She's an experienced music educator. She's an activist. She's a musician. She teaches at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College. She mentors Native youth in music composition, performs regularly for public media, festivals. She's recorded 6 CDs. She's got music in local film, video, television, including, I think this is pretty cool, an Emmy-awarded PBS documentary. She's published children's literature. She also, in her free time, I don't know, serves on the Cloquet City Council up in Cloquet, Minnesota. Her 2005 album was titled Findian Summer and focused especially on mixed heritage. However, a little more recently, She helped Finnish author Katja Kettu and documentarian Maria Seppälä with a documentary, Fintianit, which was produced for Helsinki Wiley in 2019. And I think this is super cool. In 2022, she composed an Indigenous opera celebrating the life and works of Dakota singer and opera composer Lyz Jaakola. She is our 2025 musician in residence at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Center for the Study of Upper Midwestern Cultures. Before I hand it over to Liz and everyone else, I want to ask everyone to kind of take a moment to think about place. The University of Wisconsin-Madison is on Ho-Chunk land, and I mention that to acknowledge where we are and to make clear that we cannot and should not be celebrating an anniversary, especially at a land-grant institution. We cannot tell the story of immigration, of history, of heritage, of family, of friends, without also telling the story of indigeneity, of understanding where we came from, where we are, who came before us, and who will remain after us. So take a moment, think about the people who are and were in the place that you currently live. Think about those who are kin to you and those who aren't. Those connections have helped shape who we are today, right? They've helped shape the places we live today. So embrace that, reflect on that for a moment, because the ideas of history and heritage and indigeneity and immigration are a big and important part of what Liz, of what she researches, of what she sings about what she lifts up, about what she carries on. And then, think about what you can do to make the world just a little bit of a better place. Consider donating, for example, to the Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College Scholarship Fund to support the work that Liz is doing. Support your local history societies. Support your local Scandinavian Studies departments. Buy from local artists. Buy from local musicians. Acknowledgement of our past is almost meaningless if we're not also combining that with actions in our present. So with that, please join me in welcoming Lyz Jaakola as she uses an Indigenous Informance style, weaving story, visuals, and song to share traditional and modern Ojibwe-Anishinaabe music from her lifelong study of Native American music. And she'll especially be lifting up some Anishinaabe women's songs. So thanks, and let's welcome Liz.
Bonjour, Ninduwe-Maganiduk. Hello, all my relatives. Nitaa-Nagamokwe, Indigenous Magazine, and Dodame. Nagajiwanong din Donjaba. The only thing I know how to say in Finnish is hyvä päivä. And I'm happy to be here. We wanted to be sure to start out with a Ho-Chunk song because we're in Ho-Chunk territory. And thankfully, one of the singers in our group, Deb Polonis, taught us this thank you song. So I think we'll start with that. Miigwech. Thank you. Kiitos. That second song is a song that's called the, if you YouTube, the best powwow song ever. And it's a direction song, so you go east, south, west, north, and somehow I went east, south, north. Oops, west, north. Because sometimes that happens. We just go and we don't always, follow the plan. And in our traditional artwork and beadwork, there's always something called a spirit bead. There's like a mistake. Sometimes people who are really good have to intentionally make a mistake to leave a spirit bead because we're not perfect. And to even try to be perfect is kind of like bad manners. So even in our music, we sometimes have a spirit bead. When we have an extra beat, I always say, that's my spirit beat. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you to UW-Madison and Scandinavian Studies and Center for Upper Midwest Cultures, and all of the people, Anna and Marcus and Jason, and I know I'm forgetting people to thank, but I'm really happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here with some of my family. I always like to bring people when I am given an opportunity. And this is really a very cool opportunity to be here and to share music. And so we have some of the folks from the group, and I'll ask them to introduce themselves. But I'll tell you a little bit about what I do or what I'm doing. I teach at Fond du Lac, and I also like to encourage people to make music and to use their voice in a variety of different ways. And I think that comes from my Anishinaabe and my Finnish ancestry. There are, different ways that people share their voice, and Anishinaabe folks and Finnish folks generally, I'm not making any stereotypes intentionally, but we are not necessarily the ones that go out front and yell around. We figure out more creatively how to reach into people's hearts and help them to learn something. So sometimes that's with music, sometimes that's with dancing or artwork, and so that's what I do sometimes, but then I went and got elected, so I have to also be the person that says who talks on a microphone, and I don't yell around, but not always. But there's always that possibility. I think that's what people are like, oh, she might yell. So if we could introduce ourselves, and if you want to come up to the mic, or if you just want to yell from back there, it's up to you.
Buju kakaki din Indigenous Benation in Dodem, Nagachu Anong din Donjba. Hello, my name is Xander. I'm Mom or Liz's kid, and I'm here skipping school to have a sing around and have a good time.
Bonjour. I'm Suzanne, Jasha Winnabesikwe, Indigenous Cause. I am Liz's friend. We've been friends for about 20 years. I've also been her student, a music student, Anishinaabe of Lake Superior student, and Music of the World's Peoples student. So I have learned in so many different ways from Lyz, and I just really enjoy her, and I'm just grateful to be friends with her. Miigwech.
Even after I flunked her once.
Hi, I'm Max, or Wabasha-Magwan, which means white feather. I'm over here skipping school as well, just to hang out with Lyz. I'm Suzanne's kid. Okay.
Thanks for being here, Max.
Bonjour, Nitaa-Nagamokwe, Indigenous Finnish-American. I'm Lyz's daughter. I'm Jagger. I get to come here for funsies. Very happy.
I'm grateful that they're here with me. The older I get, the more I realize I'm really like kind of not always comfortable in front of people, even though I've been doing this for over half my life. And to have, backup is really nice. To be able to feel, comfortable and safe, it's good. So growing up, you'll see a bunch of photos. Most of them are family photos, both the Finnish-American side and the Ojibwe side. And then there are some that are just kind of regional photos that back when I worked on the PBS documentary, we were scanning photos and newspaper clippings or out of books or whatever. So, and they have, some of them are identifiable to like where they came from, Lac du Flambeau and Duluth area. Because there are a lot of Findians, I don't know if you're aware. We could probably be our own little subculture. And when I was helping the girls from Finland with their research projects, they were talking about it as if it already were an established subculture. And I'm like, no, we just say Findian, like, jokingly, kind of, but then they called their projects Fintianit and Fintianen Maila, and okay, so there's that helps to inform who I am, not only my cultural upbringing, but the music within that cultural upbringing. So you'll see some photos of some Willettes. Those are my sisters. My sister has a different dad than I do, and that whole family, they're all musical and play instruments, and we would all gather together like one big family, and they'd bring guitars and fiddles and mandolins, and I learned how to like enjoy music in that way, and I also learned how to just like jump in and have fun making music, and so when I was doing that, they were playing songs like Everly Brothers or, other country western songs. And my dad would join in, and my mom, she says she doesn't sing at all, so she would just enjoy it. I learned like how fun, just family time was and singing different songs. So I'm going to have my son play Everly Brothers. And I wanted everyone to kind of sit up here because it's kind of like sitting around a kitchen table, and that's where all of our family gatherings were. We were just hanging out in the house or maybe on the porch or in the backyard. And I'm going to say, learning by doing. Recognizing that we're not always perfect. And sometimes some fun things happen out of that, because Xander's like, Mom, I don't even know this song. I'm like, I think you do, because I heard you playing it in the living room the other day. So we're just going to go through and sing. And if you feel like you want to sing with us, this is open. It's, it's a free time to do that.
Do you want to just start right on the chorus? I don't know the intro. Something like that. Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye love, bye-bye sweet caress, hello happiness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love, goodbye.
There goes my baby with someone new. He sure looks happy, I sure am blue. He walked in, goodbye to romance, that might have been. Suzanne, you knows better. Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love, goodbye.
Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness, and I'm gonna cry.
Bye-bye love, bye-bye sweet caress, hello loneliness, yes, I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye my love, goodbye.
Sure.
And then there was a song that that the brothers used to sing, and it's an E, and then it goes this little thing at A, and then E, and then B.
B, okay.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna sing, and you're just gonna figure it out.
Okay.
All right. Okay. When I'm feeling bleary-eyed from the collie I buy, I stagger to my shack in the swamp by the highway, known as number 7. When the Kaupaka closes tight, I do the only thing that's right. I stagger to my shack in the swamp by the highway, known as number 7. When you come and visit me, there's one thing you will see. 15 blonde-headed Finnish kids that look exactly like me. I feed them kalamoyaka, sometimes risi purua, in the swamp and the highway, known as number 7. Jim, what's the next verse? I'm gonna sing the other. Oh yeah, I gotta get to that part. Yeah, that's a final wind up. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the Kaupaka. Okay. When the Kaupaka closes tight, I do the only thing that's right. I stagger to my shack in the swamp by the highway, known as number 7. Visit me, there's one thing you will see. 15 blonde-headed Finnish kids that look exactly like me. When I feed them boyka, sometimes they say purua in the swamp by the shack in the highway that is known as number 7. Not the X-Cux Kalime or the Nelia Vesagos, but the highway number 7. Yeah, yeah. And after a couple of kalias, that's how it would sound in our kitchen. We would be chords everywhere, people singing, laughing. What are the next verses? And my Uncle Vic, he had lost a couple fingers. I can't remember which one, but he could play like he had all his fingers, and they would always be, having fun, singing, and that's how I learned about music. And my sister was really the guitar player, and so I picked up fiddle, but I was really learning violin, so not learning fiddle style. But they would ask me to bring it out, and I would be kind of stuck, because I didn't know how to just play. I only knew how to play off sheet music. And they would tease me to no end. What's that school doing? That's no good, that school. You can't even play with us. So Xander is going to play on his banjo that he made out of a hand drum and cedar. Oh. And pipestone, because we hold our gathering. We have a group of musicians. Oshkigijic singers is kind of the centerpiece of this musicking, and we hold hand drum making workshops about once a year. And we learned this year how to make them Cree style, which means how the stitches are on it. And he said that would be good for banjos. So next thing I know, like Friday, he thought about it, and Monday he had the banjo done. And I said, no, that's Findian magic there.
Sure. So I've picked up the music from mom, and so I've made a couple albums now, and this song was written because I learned how to play banjo from my school, and then with creativity and a knowledge, I decided I'd try to write something, and so this is how that song came out. It's on my second album, and mom put some words to it. The title of the song is Gooseberry, because I was thinking about there's a state park in Minnesota called the Gooseberry Falls, and I guess that's kind of what I was thinking about. Okay.
So we try to have fun playing music and singing songs. During COVID, the stay-at-home order, my first instinct was, we need to make music. And thankfully, I had 4 willing musicians at home. And we set up a stage in our basement, and we live streamed a song every night. For 51 songs, I think is how many we did. During dinner, I'd say, what song are we going to do? And then we would choose a song, we'd rewrite the lyrics, and then we would practice it a little. I'd hand out instruments. You're playing this now. You're going to play this today. You're going to play bass. Jagger got to learn how to play bass, piano, shaker. Yeah. And we did songs from Hamilton and the 80s and like all different kind of things. That was a way to just work through it, making music. And I learned through some, family research, genealogy. My great-grandpa was a fiddle player, and he would play for the house parties on the reservation. And it was usually at like the local judge's house or something. They would have a party and a dance party, and he'd be playing fiddle. And I didn't really realize that so much why the fiddle was interesting to me or why people were excited about me playing fiddle. Just like allowing that music to come out in whichever shape or form, living, especially in today, with certain, cultural norms and practices and representation, and wanting to make sure that we're doing things appropriately. There's a lot of, protocol and you might say cultural rules in any culture you're in. And so that's true for Ojibwe. And Ojibwe women's music had kind of gone underground, if you will, or maybe it wasn't practiced much at all due to colonization and in the middle of the 1800s. And that at that time, the Pow-wow started to not replace, but move in as like the primary acceptable native music. Taking the place of ceremonial songs or other cultural practices, like if we have songs for harvesting or hunting or even birthing or any of the normal things that happen in Anishinaabe culture, those songs were not acceptable. In fact, there was a period of time where our music was illegal. There were certain laws written about if natives are singing or dancing, that these are the things that will happen. They might be starved. They might be put into jail. They might they're not going to be seen as what was referred to as competent Indians. And if somebody was not a competent Indian, they were not allowed to hold title to land. And this is about the time when they were breaking down the reservations, and the Dawes Act was kind of like the formal, but it happened before that, where they were allotting parcels of land to competent Native people, and those not so competent were kind of left out. So of course there was a lot of desire to be labeled as a competent, and so no more singing those songs, no more dancing. They had to wear clothing of the Americans. They had to do their business in a correct way. They had to start farming, lots of different things to be competent. And same thing was similarly happening with the Finnish immigrants. They couldn't speak their language. They were shunned. The land parcels that were available were these leftover surplus parcels of allotment in many cases. And so I think that's how my dad's side of the family ended up living in the middle of the reservation. They homesteaded in like 7 miles from where I currently live. So not only like sharing space, the Finns and the Ojibwe, but also sharing, this outsider status. Even though the Ojibwe, this is their homeland, and the Finns were coming to a new homeland, this, they shared that oppression as well, and love of nature. Recognizing the importance of the plants, especially in that birch band around the globe where there's birch trees and lots of different similar plants, the berries and the medicines, all of these different things bring people together. So of course, musics were coming together in different ways, and I'm hoping, I'm now just starting to think more about fiddle, because I've been focusing on women's music for so long. I realized, hey, maybe there's something in the fiddle music too, because there's a few different collections here that I can look into, as well as maybe from Turtle Mountain, where they have a really strong fiddling tradition. And looking at if there's any overlap, I don't know. Maybe somebody does know. Maybe they've already done that, which is cool. So I do work like this in different capacities. I travel to different schools, and I have like a 45-minute shtick, song and dance about like, here's where all the Native people live in Minnesota, and these are our songs, these are our instruments, da-da-da, here's some songs I did, here, let's do some singing, and maybe we get a dance in, and then I'm off to the next school. And that's one of the things I do. And I discovered in looking at some of the holdings here in the library, there was a gal who was doing something similarly at the turn of the 20th century or so, and her name was Princess Nitaa-Nagamokwe. And I looked her up, and it turns out she was not even Native, probably. And so I'm like, oh, hey, this is not a new thing, right? People were going Indian, all the way back from the beginning, I'm sure, and then sharing songs and stories. And so being a mixed person, sometimes I run into some of that where people question, like, what is your identity, and who are you as a representative of Ojibwe or Finnish-American. And the more I think about that, it's like I can only be who I am. I'm enrolled at Fond du Lac. My dad's Finnish-American, and I have strong cultural American, ties to both or all, all these cultural heritages, and so singing to me helps me process some of that, I guess. And maybe it was like when I first started teaching at the Ojibwe school, which is a mile from my house. I needed a job, and I just finished my bachelor's in music and vocal performance. And when I went for vocal performance, there wasn't studying of music like this. It was very, they wanted perfection. And I went and I studied with my first voice teacher at university, and she said to me, I don't know if you're the right kind of person for this. And at the time, I heard it as, well, you're an Indian. So there's that. And now, maybe that isn't quite what she meant. Maybe it was more about my personality traits, my cultural personality traits, not wanting to, always wanting to bring people along, always wanting to do group things, but in any case, I was going to prove to her, what do you mean I'm not the right person for this? I'll show you. And so I started studying opera. I got my bachelor's in vocal performance. And I learned how to use a big voice, which I'm going to sing a little bit off my phone, which I know is just all kinds of cheesy, but I'm going to do it anyway. And now that I'm 56, I got to use readers. And let's hope I can read it. So one of the concerts that we did, I did with Jeannie Doty up there, and I won't sing the verse of this song, but the chorus is so powerful. And I just need a note. It's a song from Oscar Mericanto, which he wrote many songs, art songs, and this one is about La Toka, which is a lake that the Finns lost when the border moved. It's in Karelia, and it just touched me right away when I heard it. So now I forgot that note already, but I'm just going to sing. It's a love song to that lake. Miigwech, Kitos, thank you. That's probably why I didn't go into classical music either. I get so uncomfortable when people clap. Yeah. So after opening up my voice and, like really stepping into this sound and thinking about who I was as a singer, and, I had a dream about singing with a drum. Because, see, before, when I was younger, there weren't many women singers. Like, Pow-wow was just kind of taken root as, like, this major cultural event. The American Indian Religious Freedom Act only passed in 1978. People were kind of shy about sharing cultural things because they weren't sure. Like, when something rolls out of Congress, it sometimes takes a couple of decades before everybody accepts it, right? I'm not going to say nothing about that. And they, were coming out more and more doing things. And the women's music just kind of, was not in the same zone as powwow. And so there was more of a focus on the men. And the women that were singing, in the early 70s, there was a women's powwow group up in Canada. There was one over at Red Lake, but then like things just shifted. Some people will say it was like so that the women didn't have to take too much flack, like to protect the women. So the men said that they would sing, and other times, it was thought of as, well, there's reasons why the women aren't drumming, that have to do with who we are biologically, lots of different teachings around that. And so I was like, well, I had this dream that I was singing with a drum, with a hand drum. So I had to go and ask, like, what does this mean? And I had a lady who gave me my name. My name was Nitaa-Nagamokwe. And it means the lady that knows how to sing well. So I went and I talked to my wa'an, the person who gave me my name, and I said, okay, this dream I had, and she said, well, I'm not sure what you're asking me. That's what the spirits call you, is the lady who knows how to sing well. In that dream, you better put some offerings out and you feast the dream, and you I think you know what that dream means. And I was like, okay. And so in my teachings, I wasn't to just make myself a drum or go buy one. I was taught that I needed to be given a drum. And so I was given a drum shortly, within, like, not days or weeks or anything, but shortly after that. And it was like an Orff drum. Like, it wasn't like one of our traditional drums. It didn't have like a handle on the back, and it had wing nuts and a metal frame around and I was like, what is this? And now I call it my trainer drum. Like, they were trying to see how I was going to be with a drum. I wasn't going to run off and try to be like Redbone and be a rock star, or now in hindsight, maybe not to be like Buffy, but even though I loved Buffy, I saw her on Sesame Street singing the AIM song with a drum, and I was like, wow, like that's, yeah. And so anyway, so I started writing, I started teaching, and I had to write curriculum, so I was like writing songs for the kids, and that, just learning about traditional music with my drum. And in that dream I had, it was about singing with a group of women. And I, had to learn about the drum myself first, learn some songs, and especially knowing like some people weren't really supportive of that idea. I wasn't going to drag other people with me, to get in trouble. So not until some elders asked me, so when are you going to start your group? I was like, oh, okay. So I talked to some ladies in Fond du Lac area, and we started meeting. I knew that they were singing, because like singing, with a hand drum in private or like singing with the water drum in ceremony. Women have like always done that, but it was like singing out in public in this way that was maybe not as common. And there were some groups, and the Eulali, they were probably the most well-known. They were in that video called Music for the Native Americans or something for the Native, that Robbie Robertson did a series. And so I got to know those ladies. Sharon Day, who is, I call her my mentor. She had a group in the 90s down in the cities, in the Twin Cities. And so, so one of the first people that said, yeah, let's do it was Suzanne. And so thankfully she dragged her little sister with her. And we all started singing and learning songs. So we're going to sing a few of those songs, and we'll go with one of the first songs that we learned, which was Strong Woman Song, which came from a group in Canada. There's a number of stories that are attached to this song. One of them that I remember, it's Maggie Paul's song, and she was working in a women's penitentiary, and they made this song, and when they sang this song, it protected them during a riot, and so it has kind of legendary status in that way, and we'd sing it with thinking about that. This is kind of like a song that all women's hand drum groups, and probably big drum as well, that everybody knows. So we'll sing Strong Woman Song first. Xander's been singing with this group since before he was born. And he likes to boss us around. Well, he did when he was little, and we let him, but now, you know. We'll do this song. This is a song that came from that video series that Purufe taught us when she worked with us a couple of different times. And it's called Makchi. And we do different things with it every time we do it. Because we can. She said, go and have fun, play with it. It doesn't have to be the same every time. Traditional, like ceremonial songs are supposed to be the same every time. You learn them very intentionally that way, but like performance songs, not so much. We can have fun. Makchita boy ampidi, makchita boy hanspewa ebi, makchita boy ampidi, makchita boy hanspewa ebi mampiwa okahimo taon tai kaitai kiwe mei Nangaya Yamuni Wajitse, Nangaya Yamuni Wajitse. Heya, 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 we heya, 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 we heya, 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 we heya, 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 heya. Makchitam boy ampidi, makchitam boy hanspewa ebi, makchitam boy ampidi, makchitam boy hanspewa ebi mampiwa okahimo taon tai kaitai kiwe meitai nangaya yamuni wajitse nangaya yamuni wajitse. Heya, 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 we heya, 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 we heya, 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 we heya, 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 we heya. Makchitam boy, makchitam boy, makchitam boy, hanspewa. Let's see. So at one of our gatherings, we had 60 women, and most of them Ojibwe, and we learned some songs from each other, and then we made this song. And this song has like two phrases that are flipped, because when we were making the song, the elders, we're learning our language, a lot of us. On my reservation, Fond du Lac, we don't have any first language speakers. Oh, thanks. Our last first language speaker passed, I want to say like 7 or 8 years ago. So, and the other Ojibwe communities are similar. Some have many more speakers. No Ojibwe community that I'm aware of is only speaking Ojibwe anymore. And so, especially in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan, we're really working to reclaim that language, to go back to speaking that language. And there are a lot of people working at it. Anyway, so these two elders had two different ways of saying these phrases. And instead of like saying, well, this is the right way, they agreed they said, let's just do it both ways. It was like not a big deal at all. They said, let's just do it both ways. And to me, that was the most beautiful compromise moment that I've ever seen, you know, especially like in when you're talking about culture, like people can get so, you know, uptight about it, and they can be so, you know, because our culture is not, our cultures have been disturbed, have been dismantled, and intentionally, you know, dismantled. So having something that you know is true coming from somebody who taught you the language or cultural practice or something feels very, it's a big responsibility to pass it on in that way. And so people get, you know, very emotionally tied to that process, of course. And so sometimes, you know, people say, no, that's not the right way. But this moment, they both were like, well, let's do it both ways. So this song, every time I sing of that, I sing it, I think about that moment. The general words say, our mother, the earth, loves us. Be together in a good way. Our grandmother Moon loves us, and live a good life. So, and the rest of them are vocables in between the heya part. Those are called vocables in musicology terms. In our cultural practice, I don't know, we just say they're straight songs or word songs. But the part that it comes straight from our heart, those sounds that are not interrupted by words. So we just call it Gizaga Igunan. We don't really have titles for our songs either. But this is Gizaga Igunan. Awesome. Miigwech. This is, we're just warming up. We're going to do this song, New Day song. This is like our namesake song, if you will. Oshki Gijik Singers means the New Day Singers. And this song came about the time that our group was named. And it's kind of tricky. So if you see us giggling around, that's because we're being tricky. Did you see smoke coming out our ears? We're thinking so hard. So let's see here. Do we have any other favorites that we have to do before we turn it over to this guy?
I thought we were going to do not Strong Woman song, but the...
Oh, Anishinaabe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, we have one more. And then Xander's up. I have to let him know so he can prepare his head. You better start this song. Okay. This song invites all the women into the circle to dance in the right way.
Just the wrong one. What? No, what's it? What? No. That's not, wait. You better start.
Okay.
I usually start this one every time. I don't know why I can't pull it.
Okay. Wow. You just sing all day, us. Sometimes we do. So I went to Finland, and they brought me to some country places, and they wanted me to sing with my hand drum, and go around. And some people came out and they said, we had drums too. And one lady said, I still have one, but don't tell them. Because a similar thing happened. And the Sami, a lot of the drums of the Sami were put into museums. And some of the Finns, who also had what people might say like a shamanistic kind of belief system, also had drums. Drums are powerful vessels to do work, to do spiritual and work in this physical world as well. And it's a big responsibility. And so there's a lot of teachings, cultural teachings wherever you go as to what, how to use the drum, how to be appropriate with the drum, and then we can also say it extends to other instruments, right? Like, how are we going to use those instruments? What is the message that we're trying to convey? What is it that we want to influence our audience with? And my son has been writing music and doing a variety of things, and he's just a kid. I can't wait to see what else he does. I'm so impressed with the work he does. So I asked him if he would share a couple of songs. We'll sing a backup on one of them, and then we'll just sing a traveling song, and then we'll be out of here. Xander, go ahead.
Hi, I already introduced myself. So I told you earlier that I have written a couple albums, and the first one was kind of silly. I didn't really want to take my writing too seriously because it's too what is that called? Open to vulnerable. Thank you. So I wrote an album called The Condiment Album, and so here's one of those songs. Mustard, everybody hates you. You're never heard inside a room. Mustard, they don't know. They never learned you are liquid gold. There's Dijon and honey for days that are sunny. Grey Poupon, a brand of Dijon, walnut and deli for your hungry belly. All the different flavors that you love. Yes, all the different flavors that you love. NMM, National Mustard Museum, opens at 10 a.m. for you to see them. All the different kinds for you to enjoy. So please be kind to my love and joy. There's Dijon and honey for days that are sunny. Grey Poupon, a brand of Dijon, walnut and deli for your hungry belly. All the different flavors that you love. Everyone. Like Dijon and honey for days that are sunny. Grey Poupon, a brand of Dijon, walnut and deli for your hungry belly. All the different that you love. Yes, all the different flavors that you love. Thank you. So yeah, I know we're in the neighborhood of the National Mushroom Museum, so I thought maybe it'd be good to sing that. Tomorrow we're gonna go. Oh no, I don't know. Probably. I think it's. Oh, anyway. I also recently just applied for the Tiny Desk contest, and so here's to hoping. And this is the song that I played. Yeah, this is off of my second album. Also, the Mustard is off my first. This one's a little more serious. I decided maybe I'd take music more seriously. There's a mirror on the side of the wall, and it's looking back at me, whispering all the things that it may see about the two of us. There's a small little table just sitting in the hall, but he never gets used, so we help to console just the two of us. The reflection of you keeps me from stressing about this scary big world and how depressing it is, and to look across this hall and to see you on that wall is so comforting. There's a tiny little ball with a pattern of burl trying to find its way in this scary big world without the two of us. Then the house begins to flicker and the lights begin to shake. I look over to you and you slightly start to sway. Please don't break. When I wake up, I look across our hall and I try to see your face. I don't see any face at all. Where's the two of us? The reflection of you keeps me from stressing about the scary big world and how depressing it is, and to look across our hall and to see you on that wall is so comforting. Should I say to look across our hall and to see you on that wall was so comforting. Thank you. So if you'd like to listen to any of those, they're all released on anywhere you listen to music under the title Xander Music, Xander with an X, music with an X instead of an S. It's kind of silly, but I like it.
All right. So like it's all connected, right? Hopefully that's a lot of communication in Ojibwe communities and Finnish-American communities is indirect, right? And I think that has like filtered through the work that I do as well. I try not to knock people over the head with the point I'm trying to make. And sometimes people pick it up, and other times it goes right over their head, which is fine. You know, hopefully they think like, well, that was weird, or that was interesting. I'm not sure what she was trying to say, and other people will go, oh no, I got it. You know, and in I think both, these cultures, it's understood like you're going to take away what you were intended to take away for that moment in your life, or for that period of time, or whatever. Like, oh, if you were only supposed to grab onto, hey, that kid wrote a whole album about condiments, like, that's cool, that's where you're at. If it was like tracking the story I was trying to make with all of this musical offerings from the beginning to the end today, hopefully it made some sense. So we're going to close with a traveling song, maybe a couple, we are at 5:26. We have time for 1.5 traveling songs. This one will do, the traveling songs were like a larger genre of songs because the people in the Great Lakes, of course, were traveling around quite a bit by foot, by canoe, and so there would be songs to ask for a safe travel. Now there's a handful. People are still writing songs to use in different capacities. Like I mentioned earlier, the ceremony songs are specific to those ceremonies. We don't do them in this way. But the traveling song is something that this song particularly came from the Attawapiskat. And the Attawapiskat community made a CD to try and raise some money to raise awareness of the extractive industry's effect on their community. So this traveling song comes out of that area, and a friend of mine, Rosary Spence, was involved with writing it. So I hope everybody had a good time here today, and I thank you for coming, and we hope to send you on your way in a good way with this traveling song. Miigwech, meet you. That's all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, family and friends, for everything. I feel like we've kind of been invited into your home, and we've seen the laughter and the love and the family and the friends, and it was just really wonderful to be a part of this. Quickly, we're going to have a little bit of a reception at Old Madison, the Old Madison room. There will be some snacks. There will be there's hot chocolate. There's going to be some drinks and stuff. So come, yeah, Oscar's ready for the hot chocolate. So come join us for that. We're hoping that you all will swing by after we get kind of cleaned up here. We'll see you all next time. Like I said, it's 150th anniversary for Scandinavian Studies. We've got a bunch coming up. Next one's coming up on the 2nd. That's going to be with the former ambassador of Norway. Thank you all for being here, and hopefully see you soon.